Tiny House Prepper.
Live simple, live free.
Hi everyone, Bill here from Tiny House Prepper. Today I want to talk about omelets. Do you like omelets? I love omelets. I think everybody really likes omelets, but if you like omelets, then I assume that you have omelets every morning, right? No? Why not? Well, probably because they're just so much work. First you got to make sure that you've got all the ingredients that you want to go in the omelets, and then you got to take all that time to slice and dice and cut, chop, pre-cook if you want to put any meat in it. It's just too much work. So the truth is, most of us probably only have omelets when we go to a restaurant because we just don't want to do all that work. But I'm going to show you using Thrive Foods, 100% Thrive meal I'm going to make here, how easy it can be to make an omelet. And as I do this, I want you to notice two things. One is that, as I've said, it's not time consuming to do all that chopping because it's already done for you. You'll see that all of the Thrive food, all of the veggies, everything that I'm going to use is already chopped or diced or pre-cooked or whatever it needs to be, so I don't have to spend all that time doing all that chopping. The other thing is I want to demonstrate for you what I call Thrive meals for one. And this is really one of the really convenient things about Thrive, is that if you live alone or if for any reason you have to cook just for yourself or cook a meal for one, it's very easy to do with Thrive Foods. And an omelet is a good way to show you that, because normally if you were going to cook an omelet just for yourself using all fresh ingredients, you go buy a tomato, you go buy an onion, you go buy a bell pepper, and you slice them up. Well, that's way too much for just one omelet. So you use the little bit that you need in your omelet, which is really not much for just one omelet, and then all the rest of it goes into your refrigerator, and then you try to remember that it's there so you can use it. But what will probably happen is 3 weeks from now you'll dig in there and you pull out green onions and green tomatoes and desiccated onions and all these things that have been in there too long because you didn't use them in time. With Thrive, you can use just exactly the amount that you need and no more, and you will have zero waste. And it's really, really convenient if you're going to cook by yourself. Now, besides the omelets, we are also going to show you potatoes O'Brien and how easy that can be to make. Now, Thrive has several different kinds of potatoes. The name, by the way, is I don't know why they do this. It's written real small over here in a light color. It's hard to read, so we always just write the name across the top so we can find it real easily when we're looking at on the shelf. But like I said, they have several different kinds of potatoes. They have one that they call potato dices, and that is actually freeze-dried potato. This one they call potato chunks, and rather than freeze-dried, this is actually dehydrated. Just different processes that they use to dry them. We've used them both. We like them both, but I personally prefer potato chunks. It's just a matter of taste. You can try whichever one you want. There's a little thing in here. This is an oxygen absorber that helps keep it warm. Obviously, you don't cook that. The potato chunks, you can see they're little chunks, and when you rehydrate them, they grow to about twice the size that you see here. Now, most Thrive foods will rehydrate in under 5 minutes, but these dehydrated potatoes for some reason take a lot longer. If you just soak them in water, they take about 20 to 30 minutes to soak. But I've discovered that if you bring them to a boil and then simmer them for a couple minutes, it goes very fast. So let me show you what I'm going to do here. Just pour in some potatoes like that. And they have two different kinds of onions. This is onion slices, which you can see are large slices, and I'll be using some of this onion slices in here. then they also have what they call chopped onions. If you can see this, these are chopped, diced up real small. And we use them both. We use them for different things. I'm going to put the sliced onions, the large ones, in the potatoes, and I'll put some of the diced onions in, or the chopped onions, I'm sorry, that's what they call it, in the omelet. And then we have green bell peppers. Smells just like peppers. It really smells good. Now these come in slices like this, and I like them a little bit smaller in the potatoes, and when they're dry like this, it's very easy to just snap them, just break them off. So I'll just take some and just kind of crush them a little bit, just to break them up a little bit. Now the potatoes, I need a little bit more. Potatoes will swell, the other stuff pretty much won't. So you can see what that's like. And then I come over here and I just put them on water. And like I said, most products you just put them in water like that and let them sit, and within a couple minutes they'll be rehydrated. But these potatoes take a little longer. So I'm going to put them actually on the stove. So just put them there and bring it to a boil. And then after they're rehydrated and boiled, then I will brown them in a frying pan. So now I have the potatoes on the stove, cooking on the stove. So now I'm going to start on the omelets. And this is the fun part because you can put in all kinds of stuff and it just doesn't take much time. We like to put sausage in our omelets. Of course, you can make them however you want. If you want to make a vegetarian omelet, you can do that. But we like to put sausage in it. They have sausage, what they call sausage crumbles, that looks just like hamburger except that it's sausage. Normally, if you're going to put meat in the omelet, of course, you have to pre-cook it, because otherwise it'll, as the omelet cooks, it'll get warm, but it won't cook. But that's one of the neat things about the Thrive meat, is that it's already pre-cooked, so all you have to do is rehydrate it. And I'll put all the ingredients that we're going to put in an omelet all in one bowl and let it rehydrate all together at the same time. Now I'm making one for me and I'm making one for Elizabeth, and we like different things, so I'm going to make two different bowls for the ingredients for the two separate omelets. If you were making Thrive meal for one, an omelet for one, obviously you would just make one bowl. So this is the sausage. Like I said, it looks just like hamburger, but it's sausage. So we just put a little bit in each bowl. It's very easy to put too much in here, and so your omelet ends up so fat you can't even roll it shut. So if you're going to put many ingredients, you have to make sure that you put in just a little bit, like that. So there's the sausage. And then we have the bell peppers. This is the same thing that I put in the potatoes. And we put a few in each. And then of course we've got to have tomatoes. This is tomato dices. Wonderful stuff. This is, when it's dry, it kind of feels like styrofoam. But as soon as you hydrate it, it looks and smells and tastes and feels just like a diced tomato. Really good stuff. So we put in a few diced tomatoes in each one. Now this is where we're going to differ, because she likes onion. She likes the, this is the chopped onion, the real small stuff. So I'll give her some onion. And I like chili peppers. Thrive has fabulous chili peppers These are kind of medium hot, and of course, you know, the more you put in there, the hotter you're going to be. But they're just diced up little chili peppers. So I got to be careful not to put in too much, because I like it hot, but I don't like it fire. And then of course there's cheese. You can't have an omelet without cheese. So here's is freeze-dried shredded Colby cheese. Now this is a number 10 can. It's a 1 gallon can. It's just basically the size of a paint can. This little can they call a pantry can. It's a good way to try different products. If you don't know if you're going to like them or not, you can try this, because obviously it's smaller, so it is a little cheaper. But this is actually the most economical way to purchase them. It's cheaper per serving if you buy it in the larger one. But for the freeze-dried freeze-dried Colby cheese, see, it's crunchy, but after you put water on it, it turns into just fresh cheese. So I'll put some of the cheese in each one. Lots of cheese. Okay. So now I think we got all the ingredients we're going to put in it. We got sausage, bell peppers, tomatoes, onions, chili peppers, and cheese. Is there anything else? Oh, mushrooms. I forgot the mushrooms. How can you have omelets without mushrooms? So here's the mushrooms, and just like the bell peppers, if you want them smaller, they're very easy when they're dry to just break just like that into smaller pieces. So I just kind of squeeze them a little bit to break them up into smaller chunks. Okay, I think we're ready. Now I have to rehydrate them. And this is a very easy process. All I do is just take one and put some water on it, stir it up a little bit. Now set it aside for about 5 minutes and it'll be ready to go. Do the other one. So here are all the ingredients in the bowl, rehydrating themselves in the water. So now the potatoes have been simmering for a little while and they're good to go. So I just drain off the water and I'm just going to let it sit and drain for a minute before I put it on the stove to brown. Okay, so now I've got all the ingredients soaking, rehydrating, and they've only been in there a couple minutes and they're pretty much ready to go. So now it's time to do the eggs. So what about the eggs, you're thinking, right? What about the eggs? Thrive has two different kinds of eggs. They have one that they call whole egg powder, and it's basically used for baking. You can mix it up and scramble it and eat it just like scrambled eggs. The first time that we bought eggs from Thrive, that's what we used. And to tell you the truth, they're certainly edible, but they taste, if you eat them just like scrambled eggs, they taste a little bit like, oh gee, this is powdered eggs. But then we discovered that they have another egg product that they call scrambled egg mix. Now I don't know exactly what it is that they do to it. They change the ratio a little bit. I believe they put a little bit more egg white in it, and I'm not sure what else. But if you scramble up scrambled egg mix, you can't tell that it's not fresh farm eggs. They taste really good. So they have two different kinds of eggs and use them for different purposes. One is for baking and the other is for scrambling and eating. And so we're going to be using the scrambled egg mix to make the omelets. So now the potatoes have been draining for a while, so I'm going to put them on to brown. Use a little bit of olive oil. In a hot pan. Now the potatoes and onions and green bell peppers. They look good. We'll just let them brown for a little while. Now for the eggs. It takes a mix of 2 tablespoons of the egg powder and 3 tablespoons of water to make 1 egg. 2 tablespoons of powder, 3 of water. And so I'm going to make 3 egg omelets. Omelet with 3 eggs in them. So I need 6 tablespoons of the powder and 9 tablespoons of water. Instead of measuring out with all these little tablespoons, we found this nifty little measuring cup that's got tablespoons on it, and it goes up to 10 tablespoons, and that makes it very easy to mix the eggs. So here's the egg powder. As you can see, it's just powdered eggs. So in order to mix up 3 scrambled eggs, I need 6 tablespoons. Where's the tablespoons? Right there. 6 tablespoons of the powder. 6 tablespoons. And then 9 tablespoons of water. And just mix it up. As you can see, it looks just like eggs. All the ingredients for the omelet are ready to go. So once again, just like the potatoes, I just drain the water out of them. Let it sit and drain for a minute. As you can see, the potatoes are browning up nicely. Now I'm ready to start with the omelet. Some olive oil. Okay, so now I've got the eggs in there, cooking up nicely. Now I will put the ingredients on there. You can see how it would be very easy to prepare too much for one omelet. You have to use just a very little bit of each ingredient that you put in there. Here's the potatoes with the onions and the bell peppers. And here's the omelet before I close it up. All fresh ingredients from freeze-dried. It's going to be good. Okay, so now I'm ready to close up the omelet. How's that? Doesn't that look just like a real omelet? Wonderful stuff. Just let that cook for a little while. I will turn the omelet over. Okay, I think it's time to dish it up, and we'll put it on one of my wife's favorite Polish pottery plates. So here we are with the potatoes. And the omelet. So what do you think? Could you eat that? Made 100% from Thrive Foods, out of our storage, out of our daily use pantry. Fast and easy.